So, Valley, why don't you tell me about the workshop that you did at UU that I unfortunately missed?
Absolutely. It was a little bite-sized workshop where everyone was given the opportunity to write very briefly about what they were calling in and an affirmation for themselves, and given an opportunity to share after some inward reflection. What are you calling in? We have our scripture, our gratitude, and our vision. So what are you calling in? We're going to move now to our thank you list. And so this is just a stream of consciousness, things that are filling you with gratitude today, that you're feeling grateful for. So our thank you list. Ask that everybody completes 3 sentences, starting with I release blank. And that can come from your first list. What are you releasing? I release. I celebrate from your second list. And I claim from your third list. I release, I celebrate, I claim. Share your final affirmations. I release, I celebrate, I claim.
I release fear of lack. I celebrate my talents and my abilities.
Yes.
And I claim abundance and success with my books.
Yeah, ditto.
I release impatience, I celebrate togetherness, and I claim health.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
I release the blockage that keeps me from saying things.
Yes.
I celebrate my imagination,
Mm-hmm.
and I claim my right to say these things.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. I felt that.
I release my anxieties about so many things. I celebrate my ability to go with the flow. I claim my joy.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Joy. I release shame and self-doubt. I celebrate the loving support of family, friends, and the divine. I claim healing and peace.
Oh, thank you. Activity of your lives be your own alchemy, and may we use our own inner creativity to turn our pain into gold. Thank you. The idea is that we can make very powerful changes in our lives with the words that we choose. And that when we write, we are essentially spell casting. We are creating blueprints for our future. We're able to look at who we were, who we are, and who we're becoming. And so it was a micro workshop, which is great because we can do a lot in a very short amount of time. And it was really, the idea was we were talking about writing as alchemy and how it transforms us. And we can go through, we can do the 7 hermetic stages of alchemy in our writing process. Or I like to think of it simply as we have pain, we make art, and we are transformed. There's healing. And so that's the abbreviated version of the alchemy of writing, or really any artistic creation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was just, a few moments of writing together. I really prefer to engage in a workshop where everyone's participating than standing up and just talking, because it's really an act of writing that we're changed, not hearing about it.
So you're processing writing. I know you were talking at some points of just letting things come. how much of it is the thinking mind and how much of it is channeled information that just flows through you?
I think when we step out of the way, it becomes the channeled information as much as possible. The thinking mind, I always start with an exercise called Right Now I Am, and it kind of gives the thinking mind a place to land. It's how we arrive in the present moment with all the stuff that's going on up here. And once we get that out, I feel like we're able to drop into deeper and deeper levels within ourselves where we're accessing the subconscious rather than what we think we've planned. People show up at writing workshops with plans that always go out the window once they tap into what's really happening in their heart and souls and their gut and within the body.
I've been listening to some podcasts, and one was about Elizabeth Gilbert, who talks about, raises the question at least, where do my ideas come from? Do they come from within me, or are they out there? And she tells this fascinating story about having a novel that she had in her mind and was working on a little bit, and then she ran into some life issues that took her away from this for a fairly long time. And then she met Anne Paget, and they kind of bonded almost immediately, and they kissed one another. And as the story continues to evolve, Anne had written a novel that was Elizabeth's novel. Elizabeth tried to go back and write the novel, but she couldn't do it. And then she learned that her friend had written the same novel. And so her premise was that if you're not ready to receive that which the universe is giving you, that idea will go and engage with someone else. It's really quite fascinating to hear it. So Elizabeth wrote the book called Big Magic, and I think that that story is in that book.
Yeah.
So the question is, where do our ideas come from? Are they out there and we just have to pull them in? I know I've had the experience of having an idea and then I lose it.
Mm-hmm.
It goes away.
Yeah.
Because I haven't written it down.
Yeah. Well, I think it's multifold. I do. I think but what I hold on to is that nothing is lost. We're not too late. We haven't lost our chance. Elizabeth Gilbert might not have written that book, but she went on to write many others because she kept her channel open. And what I believe is that we have everything we need in our subconscious. I see it as down here. And when we sit down to write and we can clear ourselves, clear our channel, what we need will rise up from within us. And it's trusting what comes. That is often what I say. If nothing else, I hope you trust what is coming up through you, because our subconscious and unconscious knows the stories we need to tell. Our conscious mind might not. And so I do believe in that idea of the ideas that are in the universal consciousness that might travel around to other people. But when our time is right, we haven't missed anything. It's never too late. We're never too old. We haven't, there's not just one idea we missed and then it's too late, Yeah, great question.
All my life I've had these little voices in my head that say, you can't do that. You're not in place for that. And for a long, long time I believed that, it's true, and these voices are wise. But I've been recently talking to some people about how I would like to write a novel about my great-great-grandfather, and it has to be a novel because he didn't leave anything behind that I could research. He didn't write, and everything I found was two things. He signed with an X, so he wasn't able, I guess, to read or write. And so I need to really get on the few things I have and build something around that to actually form a story. And it's a fascinating story, I think, because he was a soldier in the Confederacy. He was forced into it. And the first chance he had to escape, he made an escape, and he couldn't go back home, probably because everyone else thought he was a traitor or something like that. And there's a lot more interesting things. I don't want to pull it out right now, but there's things I want to try to put together, and I want to silence those voices.
Yes. Well, I love what you wrote, what you released, Celebrate and Claim had all of your elements in there because you included your imagination and that you are allowed to write this. And what I do when I have all those negative voices is I write them all down. I write everything it's saying down. And I'm like, thank you for sharing. Sometimes I give the negative voices a name. We all have that. We all have the inner critic. It's come from all over the world saying we're not good enough, we can't do it. So I pull it out. Even when I'm writing something, suddenly the voice will come and I'll put it in parentheses and keep going. I'm like, okay, thank you for sharing, moving on. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I do have the right. I have the imagination. I have the passion. And those voices, we can acknowledge them. They may never go completely away, but we don't have to let them rule our lives or our decisions.
I have a follow-up question, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever write just something that pops into your head that you think, hey, if I write about this and I exercise some of the imagination and things like that, just to sort of maintain a sense of being able to?
Yes, I do. I'm writing things down all the time that I don't know if they're gonna lead to anything or not. It doesn't matter. It needs to come through me. Because the power of writing is how it changes me. I might create a beautiful product at some point here and there, but writing is changing me by doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I have another. Okay. I really like the way you did things like that. And my kids who are at home because the turkeys didn't want to come, they had been here 10 years ago, and that was apparently enough. But they don't know what is coming to them because when I'm home, I am going to make them do this. I think really helpful. And I might learn a lot about them that I didn't want to know.
That's true. They say the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. That's great. I'm glad you're doing that with your family.
Hi, I'm talking again.
Yes, great.
I'm just amazed at the synchronicity of today, and I wanted to share it. I've known about this place for about a month. I was going to come a couple weeks ago, my car broke down. And now I have a new one.
Mm-hmm.
But I write. I'm a writer.
Wonderful.
And I've got 5 books out. And I've got to figure out how to promote these 5 books, and they come out of you. I get a voice in my head that says, it usually gives me the title. Okay, and now what? But I find it so amazing that this morning I sit there, I do my morning meditation. I'm like, get up, you gotta go. No, I want to go. Yes, no, yes, no. Come on, you gotta do this. Get up, you gotta get out there and try to, meet people. Not because of my book, because I'm lonely, because I'm in a new area, I wanna meet people. But I show up today, drag myself out, got here, and it's about writing.
I love it.
So thank you, Spirit.
Yes,
Thank you so very
Spirit.
much for sharing.
Thank you for sharing that. Love that.
Thank you, Valley. That was very insightful, rich as usual. And my question is about if somebody's feel like a writer, but they are really feeling called to write, and they have a story that they want to tell, like the gentleman in the back. How do we start? How do you start that and keep it alive through the doubts, the ups, the downs,
That's such a great question.
the crazy of life that swirls around each of us?
Yeah, thank you. What I discovered for myself is that I need structure and accountability. That's the only way things are going to happen. I thought that I could be a wild creative writer, living, like just doing my own thing, kind of dancing out in the wild, but I need a deadline and I need somebody to be accountable to. And by deadline, I mean that in a very gentle way. Like, I'm going to set a timer and write for 10 minutes. You know, I think it's a great question, and often we're very overwhelmed by how to start. And one thing I've really found is we do not have to start at the beginning or the middle or the end. We start with what's coming. And one thing I love to do is write a big brainstorm of all the prompts and all the main ideas that I'm thinking about for a story, the characters, the places, and then sit and write 10 minutes about each one. And then you can start rearranging the pieces. But don't feel like you have to start in a particular place, because you may never start. Just you start and you're like, oh, that goes here. I see it as creating a patchwork quilt. That it's like, oh, I made a quilt piece over here and then a square over here, and eventually I'm gonna have all the pieces and start putting them together. But it's so great. That's why I started writing classes, so I would have a writing community. Because that's what I needed. And because when I'm in my class, I show up and write. And when I have someone I'm gonna send something to, I send it. So it can be finding a writing partner, a community, a class, or some of us do have that really deep internal discipline to just keep up and get going. And if you do, I'm so proud of you. Good job. That's not me. I need help. So, yeah.
I do write a journal. It's not every day. It's like, okay, this is what's got to come out. And it's mostly to get stuff out of my head.
Yeah.
Because it gets in the way of just going forward.
Yes.
My son is a writer. I'm very, very proud of him. He's published books. It's like, I had no idea. I also studied art, and a blank canvas is like a blank page. But it's not blank as soon as you make the first mark. It doesn't matter. A stroke. And the stroke will say, well, what's next?
Yeah.
It's fabulous. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Valley.
Hi, Ellie.
Thank you so much for this morning, and thank you to UU for hosting you. It's amazing. So you spoke a little bit about this in the kind of the darkness that we first are entering into, and so I had a tragedy happen in my own life, and I feel that I'm wasting time I'm sewing a lot. I'm sewing a lot. And so, but what I feel like I should be doing is writing and transforming and becoming a whole new person. And so you mentioned a little bit about letting something heal to at least scab over or get to a scar, that we're never too late. Maybe you could just speak to that a little bit.
That's such a great question, Ellie. And I have tortured myself over similar feelings. Like, I should be writing the great American novel. I should be writing a transformational piece while I'm sitting here grieving and on the floor. No. And what I've discovered is there are seasons for writing. And I'm not always in a writing season. That doesn't mean I'm not journaling a little bit, but I cannot always be trying to create something. Like, we don't have summer is in every season. You know, we have our summers, but we have our winters. And there are times we need to let everything compost. And that to me is part of the writing process, is allowing it to compost, allowing it, and staying creative. Sewing is so creative. painting. We can do any medium. We don't have to always be writing for our subconscious mind to be knitting our story together in the background. I think it's self-care, taking care of yourself, sewing, walks, baths, like healing, and then the writing will start to bubble up naturally rather than you trying to go down there and pull it out and fight it and beat it, and make yourself feel bad the whole time. No, this is about healing, and you are a writer, and it's being born within you.
Can I respond to that as well?
Sure.
I've been around a fair long time. In the back, it's not so obvious, but time is never wasted.
No,
It's
No.
not wasted.
not at all.
And the other thing, should, always, and never,
Mm-mm.
those are words that get me into trouble all the time. Just wanted to share those.
I agree.
Valerie, you talk about the seasons, it reminds me that, I'm the most motivated to write something when I'm falling in love. And, I can remember a time when I was standing at the kitchen sink, and out of nowhere, this poem came. And I was going, wait a minute, what's that? I wasn't even intending, but it just kind of started, and I said, I've got to write this down. But it was just the weirdest experience.
Right, because our subconscious is working all the time, whether we are here or not. And sometimes if we're just letting it unfold because we've been living our lives, it will just visit us. Often I cannot find a pen fast enough. It's like a dream. You wake up and you're like, I will remember this forever, and it's gone in 5 seconds. But if you got it down, yay!
I don't know where it is.
Right, but you didn't know. Yeah, but that's not, we don't always have to sit there and force ourselves to write and then scratch it out and keep, sometimes they arrive in very many different ways, but I love that, yeah.
So thank you all for your comments, and thank you, Valley, so much.
Thank
for
you
your-
so much.